You can listen to the Canadian Gothic early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Include it with Prime.
So I scanned the QR code myself.
The QR code meant to direct people to a payment page was sending people to a different part of the internet.
And at first it seemed fine, but then it would send you to the adult entertainment website.
Saskatoon police say those changes have helped reduce bear spray incidents, down from 242 incidents last year.
Time for us to take actions and fix our roads.
That feeling is why Corey Parker is offering his own equipment to the cause and operating it himself.
People are tired of talking and nobody's listening.
You are listening to Keep Canada Weird.
Handsome Aaron Airport. We're back again. We're going to do this for the 218th time. We're going to keep Canada weird by seeking out and exploring all the unique and offbeat news stories that played out across this great nation over the past week. But before we do any of that, how are you?
I'm good. I had a nice walk tonight, and I helped a man find alcohol.
Okay.
Yeah.
Elaborate.
Well, I was walking down the street, and I have my headphones in, as always. And I just kind of heard faintly like, hey, buddy. And there's just some guy pulling up in a old beat-up truck next to me, and I was like, yeah, so I'm taking the headphones out. I'm like, yeah, what's up? He's like, do you know where I can get some beer? I was like, he's like, yeah, I'm early for the ferry. So, because for listeners not familiar with my area, I live in Sydney Mines, which is right next door to North Sydney, which houses the Cape Breton, Newfoundland ferry. So it's and it's very busy. There's a lot of travelers from afar who come through North Sydney and the area I was walking in. And yeah, he wanted beer. He's like, I'm early, and I figured I might as well drink some beer. And I was like, yeah, man. I said, well, there's a liquor store you can go to in North Sydney up by Walmart. I pointed him towards it. Gave him the directions, and I was like, that's far enough away from me.
Yeah. We'll read about what happens to him, or we'll hear about what happened with his night in next week's episode. Probably hear about it on the news tomorrow. Do you think he was a Newfoundlander or a Cape Bretoner? Because it would be in universe for either a Newfoundlander or Cape Bretoner to stop someone randomly with, hey, buddy, where can I get some beer? Yeah,
I'm not sure. He didn't have an accent of any kind.
Okay.
Other than, I'm a guy looking for beer accent.
I know that one. My day wasn't nearly as interesting. It was a beautiful sunny day here in Halifax. I had the beautiful girl Penny out for a walk. I had to do a quick stop at the mall for reasons that will soon become obvious. But let's get into it here. This is episode 218. I'm not going to make a big deal about the numbers, mainly because 218 is the area code for northern Minnesota, which I guess makes it Canadian adjacent. So I guess like if you cross the border into Minnesota, you might be in the 218 area code. But
right.
I'll admit it, the numbers kind of flop on the intro for this episode. 218 wasn't the coolest number, but we got to level up the special drinks segment, which we're about to get into. I want to introduce it with a voicemail that I think is going to put your back and my back against the wall for the special drinks segment. I think Blair wants to call us out. Here it comes.
Okay. All right.
Hi, Aaron and Jordan. It's Blair calling from St. John. I just want to talk to you on my walk home. Sorry about all the cars going by. About special drinks from episode 217. Now, I love tea and people need water, but that just, it did not feel special. I felt like you two kind of dropped the ball when it came to special drinks in episode 217. I usually look for inspiration from the special drinks to try something I haven't tried, or if I have tried it before, I love hearing your reactions to trying it for the first time yourselves. So drink your tea, stay hydrated, but can we maybe step up the special drink game again?
I think Blair makes some really good points. If you think of it, we've spent over a year now building a community of people who come each week to hear us unpack, crack open, take a sip up, and give a micro review of a special drink. And imagine after a year and a half, 100 and something episodes of special drink intros, we pull out a tea in a lukewarm slightly below room temperature water. I see why Blair feels a little misled.
Yeah, I mean, I will always come to the defense of water. It's quite actually, in reality, it's the most special drink you could possibly have. It's the giver of life. Life doesn't exist without water.
That's true, but water doesn't put butts in seats. And that's what we're about here on Keep Canada Weird. I have the special drink to end all special drinks here. I think it might be illegal that I even got this because right across the top of the can that I'm about to crack open, it says only to be sold as part of a multi-pack. But I bought it as a standalone item from a specialty candy store here in Halifax called Freak Lunchbox. I've never seen this product before. What I'm holding in front of Aaron's face right now is something called Pepsi Max Mango. Oddly enough, it doesn't say diet or zero sugar or none of that stuff on it, but there is no sugar in this. I've never heard of this product. Have you ever had or heard of a Pepsi Max Mango?
No, I haven't. It's an exciting drink you got there. See, taste it and let me know.
I love mango. Oh my God. I'm not trying to sell this. This is the best pop I've had since starting Keep Canada Weird. I'm a huge mango fan. As I take a sip of this, what it tastes like is I have like dried mango in my mouth and I'm like halfway through chewing it and I took a big swig of Pepsi at the same time. That's what's happening right now. This is a damn good drink.
Wow, congratulations. That's great. Blair's going to be really happy to hear that.
Run out and get one, Blair. What do you got to show off for Blair?
Well, I want to say something to Blair before I reveal my special drink tonight.
Okay.
And I wanted, because I knew I don't listen to the voicemails before we record. I like to hear them fresh while we're recording. But I did see the show notes for tonight, and I did see that there was some criticism, or what appeared to be some criticism, about our very plain special drinks from last week. So I went looking for something. Now, I will say this. There was the man looking for beer on my walk. I was also looking for something to drink, but I was looking for a special drink. And it's hard to find something in my area which doesn't have a lot to offer in terms of, doesn't have a Freak Lunchbox. It doesn't have anything like that. So finding something different is very challenging. And then adding on top of that something that's sugar-free and caffeine-free. So it's a lot of hoops for me to jump through, but I did find something. It's not as exciting as yours, but it's something different. But this is a Fruit 2O.
What is that? I've never heard of such a product. Is that one of those like flavored water?
Yeah, it's a flavored sparkling water.
Okay, take a sip.
So it is zero sugar, it's 0 calories. And I got a nice, just to spruce it up a little bit, I have a stemless wine glass here.
Okay, we're getting classy.
Yeah. So I hope Blair is listening as I crack open my Fruit 2O. The flavor is strawberry.
Okay,
I'm pouring it into the stemless wine glass.
sounds amazing.
Yeah, it's all part of the experience, Blair. Yummy.
Mm-hmm. It looks like you're drinking like a rosé wine or like a blush wine, I think they call it.
Oh, yeah, I like this.
Putting it in the stemless cup definitely levels it up. I would say eat that, Blair. Thank you for the kick in the arse. We obviously needed it, but I think you've set our course for the episode. We got a lot of great stories to get into, and we're going to start it off with an update. One of my favorite stories that we covered last week was the story of the teenager who kicked the crap out of a coyote only to have his anonymous mother go on the news and downplay his heroic feats. Well, the whole situation surrounding that park and those coyotes has gotten crazy since we last spoke. Here's the story of the Ottawa Parks coyote problem that escalated into a crossbow problem.
The hole in question into the house is right here. We've taped it up just so.
As concerns over coyotes grow in this Orleans neighborhood, Patrick Rowan says his backyard may have been caught in the crosshairs.
The trajectory, if I was sitting in that hot tub, that would have been hitting at someone's head.
Police say they're investigating after a crossbow bolt was found lodged in the back of Roland's home Monday morning after piercing through his fence. And while he believes coyotes living in the nearby Lalonde Conservation Park were the target, police can't confirm.
A lot of people taking security into their own hands because of the coyotes in the area.
The city has now temporarily closed the park after the mother of a 14-year-old boy said he was attacked by 3 coyotes while riding his bike last Thursday. It's also urging residents not to attempt to shoot, trap, or approach the animals. And while officials say coyote attacks are extremely rare, the city is considering several options, including relocating the coyotes or taking other actions if relocation isn't approved by the province. In the meantime, residents like Roland say they're taking extra precautions, but it's not the coyotes he's scared of.
What I'm scared of is the acts of others that don't think the consequences of their own actions, as we saw that the comfort that we have in our own backyard where we would feel comfortable. Well, my spouse and children going out in the evenings is not something that we're going to consider anymore because we don't know what could happen.
Wow. This guy's quite literally caught in the crossfire here. As he said, and as you see in the news clip, an arrow, probably shot from a crossbow or something, it was lodged into his house very near a hot tub. If people were sitting in that hot tub, this could have been very inappropriate for Keep Canada Weird. But as it stands now, I think this story, as it unravels in front of us, is certainly in our wheelhouse.
Yeah, I know exactly who shot this arrow from a crossbow, and it's the teenage boy from last week.
I don't believe it. This boy.
Why not?
Because he gets down and dirty. Remember, he beat one coyote with a bike and a helmet before fisticuffing the rest of them. This kid doesn't need a bow and arrow. This is someone else, someone who's far less brave.
You're wrong, because he didn't kill them with his bare hands or his bike. So he realized if he wants to end the coyote problem, and he seems like he's got the motivation, you know, he's got the motive.
He was bit in the leg.
That's right, yeah. So he's coming back. He's like, I'm coming back with a crossbow. He's got a troubled past. We deduced that last week. Or well, I thought that he did.
You thought so. I believe this is more like a Stranger Things kind of situation, and maybe that person posing as his mother is trying to get him away from the scientists who are after him, and it just happened that the coyotes picked the wrong one that day. But yeah, anyway, we'll go with your version.
Yeah. So anyway, he's a troubled child, riddled with problems, and he went and he got his crossbow because he wanted to go back and finish the job. So he goes looking for coyotes. It's probably the middle of the night or whenever it was. Takes a shot, misses, hits this guy's house or hot tub or whatever it was, or his wife, I don't know. And and now he's back on the news again. And I wouldn't be surprised if next week we're talking about an additional story about coyote hunting in this town.
They found a bunch of coyotes like on stakes as like a sort of trophy. And they found this kid like shirtless, covered in coyote blood.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to take it there, sure.
I don't. Let's get on with the show. That's all the updates we have at this point, but I think we may have some updates very soon for some other stories. Let's take our first break. When we come back, we have a duo of stories that in one way or another involve tires, that involves parking. It's going to involve potholes. It's going to get interesting after a short break. I introduced this segment as a duo of stories related to maybe tires. I probably should have said this is a duo of stories related to unique and offbeat vigilante acts, I believe, is what's happening here. Let's start with a story in Elora, Ontario. A new and controversial digital parking system in Elora, Ontario had to be taken offline after potential parkers accessing the program's payment portal were being redirected to a website more about boobs and butts than it is about paying for parking, if you know what I mean. This is the story of the pervy parking in explicit Elora.
Woes in the town of Elora.
You know, we love the town. Figured we'd go grab lunch, so we parked here and can't figure out how to get a parking ticket.
This comes after a delayed and controversial rollout of a new parking system requiring visitors to pay for parking downtown. But the system has hit a snag a little over a month after it rolled out.
I probably would have been here for another 10 minutes trying to figure it out, so it was nice that you were to kind of help me out there.
The problem is a strange one.
So I thought it was a legitimate joke, so I scanned the QR code myself.
The QR code meant to direct people to a payment page was sending people to a different part of the internet.
And at first it seemed fine, and it wouldn't let you pay for parking. That seemed to have been disabled, but when you went to press pay for a parking ticket, it would send you to the adult entertainment website.
The township says they became aware of the situation yesterday afternoon and acknowledged the system was compromised and worked quickly to address the problem.
I was walking home and I noticed that there was garbage bags covering up all the parking signs, and I thought that was just odd.
The township says at this point they do not believe any confidential information has been exposed, but local shop owners say the hack is a concern.
It's bizarre. Like, why hack into a system and do something like that? It's strange for our town.
Despite the actions of the township to cover up the QR code on the signs, the QR code on the kiosk was directing people to the township event page with no information about the parking issue. An unusual situation presenting another setback.
Customers have come in complaining, getting tickets.
For an already controversial parking plan.
One of the business owners they featured in that story said, I don't know why someone would do this. Why would someone do this? I have a pretty good idea why they do this. They're upset at the new parking system. Everybody hates using these digital things and the apps and all that to pay for parking. And what they did is, rather than complaining about it, they, I guess, hacked the system and redirected people to porno websites.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty simple.
Do we know the website? Do we know the exact one that it was rerouting them to?
No. We know it's adult entertainment. Why? Why would it matter?
I'm just curious because maybe there's more, maybe they were even more clever about this. And the particular site, maybe there's certain fetishes on there that would be funny if you're paying for parking. I don't know. I think it'd be interesting to know the exact site.
Okay, that's what you want to know. I would think just any dirty site, because really what you want to do is just kind of put pie in the face of the municipality or government or whatever it is for this community that rolled out these parking meters. Because in the lead up to these things coming out, it was controversial. People were mad at them. It was a pain in the butt to use. People didn't like it. So I think whoever did this, the group or person behind this, just wanted to make the municipality look bad. I think that worked. And in the end, there's an interesting news story that people can laugh at. And all these parking meters around town now have garbage bags over them with an embarrassed municipality or government or council trying to figure out what to do next.
Yeah. So the news clip that you just played didn't have the full clip from what I watched earlier, because there's another thing I wanted to bring up with this story.
What is it?
The news reporter, his last name is Pickle.
Okay.
So it's just, I find it funny that they had a news reporter covering a story about a porn site and his last name is Pickle.
I wonder if that was part of their plan. They knew it. There's only a couple reporters in town. We're going to get Pickle on this.
Yeah. Pickle's the only guy that can cover this in the depth that we need.
Yeah, that one went right over my head. In the context of this story, it's one of the few stories where his last name would stand out.
Yeah, maybe right now you can add in a short clip of him saying his last name, and then we can move on.
Good evening. We begin with a strange story out of Elora tonight, where a QR code meant for parking was directing people to an adult website. CTV's Jeff Pickle joining us now with more on this. Jeff, this parking system...
This is clearly an act of vigilantism, and the reason I make that clear is as I read several news articles and stuff trying to get information and dig deep into the story, a lot of times it was being referred to as like a glitch in the system. This article that this piece we just listened to, they clearly refer to it as a hack. I don't think there's any question that this wasn't an accidental thing. Somebody did this.
Yeah, no, it's there's no way that a random glitch would bring you to a site like this. It would bring you to some random site, non-sexual in nature, and they wouldn't have hired Pickle to cover that story.
Accidents do happen, though. I probably mentioned this on the show, but when part one of the movie Wicked came out, there was a big rollout of like Barbie dolls and collectibles and all these like merchandise tie-ins to the movie Wicked. And on the back of the box, it had the URL www.wicked.com, which turned out to be an adult entertainment website. What the box should have had was www.wickedmovie.com, and it turned out to just be a typo early on in the graphic design of this packaging, and they had to recall all the dolls, and then when they put them back in the stores, they had like a little sticker over the link to the dirty website. So accidents do happen. Let's move on to the next story of vigilanteism. And this is a really good one. And this also serves as a bit of an update to something we talked about last week. I'm going to allow Alicia to introduce this story to us because I didn't know anything about this until I got this voicemail, and it sent me down an amazing rabbit hole.
Hi, Jordan and Aaron. I'm just listening to your most recent episode, Keep Canada Weird. It's Alicia here in Alberta. I was just listening to the part about the holes story and how bad the potholes are, and everyone's just kind of complaining about how bad the potholes are. I live in Fort McMurray, and there's a patch that's so bad. There's a sign, like a construction sign up that says, like, be careful, road conditions for the next, I think it's 50 kilometers. So we have a local business here called Prestige Jewelers, and they started something where they're teaming up with like local, I guess, contractors and companies and stuff, and they're making a plan to go and pave this portion or fill in the holes on this portion of the highway themselves.
I'm going to stop Alicia there. She talks about they formed this group that are going to, solve the problems themselves. What they did was they started a literal militia, a pothole militia, and they did exactly what they said they're going to do. I'm going to play you the news story here of the Fort McMurray militia and their pothole rebellion.
A volunteer and unconventional road crew hits the streets in Fort McMurray to fix them.
63, that should be paved with gold. There's so much money travels down that highway.
Instead, local drivers complain about abundant potholes on Highway 63, what they call a lack of urgency in getting them filled.
I travel them all the time, every day, all over town, and you're constantly dodging that crap everywhere.
And let's make some noise and let's make some action.
So Mohammed Terabin rallied a team of his own in protest and to get the community together to make their own repairs. Local contractors, businesses, and other volunteers donated their time and equipment Friday, pouring asphalt into the potholes and smoothing out the highway.
It's enough time for us sending emails. It's enough time of us damaging our vehicles. It's time for us to take actions and fix our roads.
That feeling is why Corey Parker is offering his own equipment to the cause and operating it himself.
People are tired of talking and nobody's listening.
The government says it is listening and changes are coming. Wood Buffalo Mayor Sandy Bowman says he met with Alberta Transportation Minister Devin Dreeshen Thursday. Dreeshen says the province is committed to speeding up maintenance on Highway 63 and is working on making a portion of that road the RM's responsibility during warmer months.
There's a lot of work that needs to go into that stretch of Highway 63 to make sure it's fitting for one of the major economic hubs of the province.
These people say this project and the hope of better road care going forward shows what's possible when a community works collectively.
It's Fort McMurrayans coming together, like usually, and getting the job done.
I think in a big way, that story shows the difference between people in Alberta and people in rural Nova Scotia.
Yeah. Well, what's the difference?
Well, people in rural Nova Scotia came up with a pulled pork burger in honor of their rotten roads. The Highway of Holes it was being called. And then they were all on the news just kind of like, the roads are so bad here. People say they're worse other places, but they're even worse here. The roads have been bad forever. This soft complaining, we'll accept it, and we're beaten down here in rural Nova Scotia with our potholes. It's like a jeweler in Alberta creates a militia with steamrollers and asphalt and everything else. They raise funds and buy a bunch of like asphalt, and they go and fix and not fix like little roads. They're like fixing a highway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's an unusual story, but I think it's awesome. I think people like that, they're getting it done.
I agree with you. And the reason, but I wouldn't be so hard on the people in the town in Nova Scotia, because all of the tradespeople who could fix the roads probably live in Alberta anyway.
Oh, that's a really good thing. And that's for people who live outside of Eastern Canada or outside of Canada. They may not realize the kind of economics of this. There's a lot of jobs in Alberta. Fort McMurray, it's even said at the beginning of that article, the guy says, or that news piece, the guy says, the amount of money that goes up and down this road, it should be paved in gold. There's a lot of money made out that way. So people from Eastern Canada will go for periods of time to work in Alberta, especially tradespeople. So yeah, you got a good point. And when you're looking for a tradesman here in Nova Scotia, you often run into that. Like, I'm out west for 3 months working in Alberta or whatever. I can't do that job then. So yeah, maybe there's a bunch of Nova Scotians out there fixing these roads.
Oh, I'm sure some of them are. And so, because I know when I was a homeowner, trying to get somebody to come over and just do some work on the house was very challenging, because there's just not as many tradespeople here, especially in the past 20 years, 25 years, when the economic boom started in Alberta and all of our skilled laborers were moving out west for better employment.
Economics and workplace migration aside, are you proud that these guys and men and women took a stand and got the job done? Like, I think it's a pretty big FU to the government who wasn't able to do it. They're like, we're just going to do it ourselves. That news article we listened to did get comment from politicians who were like, we're working on things. We're going to make it faster and better in the future. But to these people out there with the steamrollers on the side of the highway volunteering to fix the roads, that just sounds like an awful lot of lip service, a little bit of too little too late.
Yeah, it's always the case when we see stories like this, where there's a complaint about something and nothing gets done about it until the news organizations get involved, put a spotlight on it, highlight the issue, and then all of a sudden whoever's responsible comes running up, be like, no, we'll fix it, you can, or we'll reverse that, or whatever. And then they kind of come crawling back to the situation once it's been brought to the light of day.
Yeah, but no pun intended. This group kind of used a steamroller approach to the issue. Like, I think what a lot of people would have done is they would have organized the kind of militia to an extent, maybe made a post on Facebook saying they're going to do this if the city doesn't fix the roads themselves, but then would back away and allow the city to go and do it, and say they could issue a statement like, we're in negotiations with the city. These people seem to want nothing to do with waiting for anyone else to do it. They just got all this stuff and went out and fixed the roads. Like that news clip, it was really loud and obnoxious because there's all the steamrollers and trucks and stuff going in the background. But that's like a volunteer road repair team getting the job done. That's the sound of progress.
Sound of the people working on the road.
We got another segment, another batch of interesting stories. This next segment that we'll get into after break is going to be some good news stories. It's going to be kind of like the happy ending at the end of this episode, but it's not going to be one quick happy ending. We have 3 stories that all involve happy endings after a short break.
Happy endings, eh?
Handsome Aaron Airport. I promised you 3 good news stories, but before I get into them, I want to give you a kind of scary, off-putting, maybe cautionary tale. And I know this one is going to affect a lot of people out there with arachnophobia, people afraid of spiders. And that's why I'm saving the good news stories as a sort of happy ending or a palate cleanser after this story that I think is going to freak out a lot of people like me that get the ick about spiders. A Calgary man says he will never look at grapes the same way again after discovering a black widow spider crawling out of a bag of red seedless grapes he had already been eating from for 2 days. This is the story of a black widow from Mexico that was found on grapes in Calgary. And I'll tell you right up front, This news article we're going to listen to, it doesn't give a lot of the hows and whys and the where froms these grapes are, but what it really tells is the story of the most unusual way ever to deal with a poisonous spider being found in your kitchen. Here it comes.
Look at the size of that big boy.
After dinner, phone rings, and my son called to say that he had a black widow spider in his house.
I just noticed something when I pulled the grapes out of the container. There was like a black spot, and I kind of shook it a little bit. And that little black spot suddenly had legs and started crawling towards my hands. Jumped back about 5 feet in a fit of fear. The first thing I did was make sure that my toddler and dog were away. Grabbed the plate that's in front of you and the glass, which were the things that were closest to me, and then quickly removed it from my house. After that, my heart rate was going about 200 miles an hour.
I said I'd drive over and help him deal with it. The best thing to do to euthanize it was to put it in the freezer. So we used a ton of packing tapes and duct tape and taped that glass to the plate so it wasn't going to move. And then I put it on the passenger seat of the car and drove it home. I kept looking over, making sure that it hadn't found a way to lift the glass off the plate. Sure, I was scared. Like, I did not want to get bit by it. I'm going to be checking the bag in the grocery store as well as when I take it out of the fridge.
So this guy buys grapes. He sees a little black spot after eating the grapes for 2 days. The black spot has legs. It starts to walk around. He realizes it's a black widow, so he puts a cup. The spider's on a plate. He puts a cup on top, trapping the spider between the cup and the plate. He then calls his mother, who drives to his house.
Mm-hmm.
Him and his mother put 2 different types of tapes to secure the cup to the plate so this spider could never get out. The mother then puts the cup in the car. She drives back her house to, as she put it, euthanize it by putting the plate and the cup and all the packing tape into the freezer.
Yeah, that's about it.
So the reason I brought this story to Keep Canada Weird is not because of how, it's not surprising or unusual to find, a tropical bug coming in on fruits and vegetables and stuff. We've heard stories like that, but I think it's a weird way to handle this.
I find the weirdest way is that he had to call his mom to come over and deal with it. He is a grown man.
He was. And he said, I think he did say my daughter was there. Like, his kids saw this.
I would love to have his, if this is the way he handled it, where he didn't know what to do. He doesn't have the internet apparently, so, and he doesn't have his own freezer. It's like, my freezer's filled with too many Hot Pockets, Mom. I can't put it in mine. So his daughter has to witness this grown man calling his mother. Like, how old would you peg this guy to be based off of the video clip we just saw?
If 30s.
Yeah, mid 30s, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Old enough to know, what would you tell me what you would do next? What I would do when I find a spider in my house typically is I grab my vacuum and I suck it up in the vacuum, and then it goes in that little dust tray, and I just dump the dust tray in the garbage outside. A black widow, maybe I wouldn't do that because I wouldn't want to introduce the black widow to. Mm-hmm. You know what? Now that I think of it, let's talk this out. I don't think I'd want to just kill it, but I wouldn't want to let it go outside.
No,
but a black widow can't live here.
No. What I would do is I would capture it safely, protecting myself and the spider, and then I would call the proper authorities to.
Who would that be?
Oh, I'm sure there's a few numbers you can call. That government, food and safety. There's government organizations that'll tell you exactly what to do in these situations and what they would prefer you to do with it. Maybe they want it. Or maybe they say freeze it until it's dead. Whatever they would recommend is what I would do. Preferably saving the life of the black widow would be the route that I would take. So if there was a government organization that I could drop off the spider to, and then they could take it, and maybe they could use it and give it a nice home, or maybe they could protect it in some fashion. Yeah, that's what I would do.
As we're talking this out, I'm feeling a bit better about his reaction. He decided to call his mom. I don't think I'd call my mom. My mom would just probably flip out and panic. Uh, yeah, I guess I'd call the authorities. I would be interested to find out which authorities they are and what they tell you to do. If anyone out there in Keep Canada Weird Nation has ever had to encounter or has ever been in the position where you had to deal with a poisonous exotic insect, I'd like to know. I'd like to know your story. This is a real test for the listeners. We get voicemails about a lot of things, but I don't know if we'll have anyone with something to say about this.
Yeah, and you know what I'll do? My brother-in-law works with like food inspection, safety stuff for the government, and I'll text him in between now and next week, and I'll have something for us.
We'll get to the bottom of this. All right. So I don't like spiders. I feel icky. I got some good news stories that are going to make us feel better, and we'll work up to the best news stories. This next one we'll get into is going to be a bit of an update to something we talked about back in episode 198. We covered the legendary stink that was haunting St. Mary's, Newfoundland, and Labrador, where an abandoned fish plant left behind towering vats of fermenting fish 25 years ago. And as we heard in that episode, 198, the nearby residents were very frustrated with this stinky, fermenting problem. Now, at long last, it seems Newfoundland's fish sauce nightmare is about to write its final chapter.
St. Mary's residents have been voicing concerns about a rancid smell in the air. The source? The long-abandoned Atlantic seafood sauce plant that sits on the edge of town. It hasn't operated in 2 decades, and vats of sauce were left inside the building to rot. Mayor Steve Ryan hopes the smell will soon be a thing of the past. That's because the provincial government has funding in this year's budget to clean the site. Many people in the town never thought a cleanup would happen, including Ryan.
Times I didn't think it was going to happen. I said, I'm giving this up. And the day that I got a call from our MHA to say that this is happening was in the budget, I got to say it was pretty emotional.
MHA Sherry Gambin Walsh says cleaning up the site is a precautionary measure.
Building is getting old, and I don't think it can safely contain the material much longer, so we really do need to remove it.
She says the town now owns the plant, which also helped move the process along.
So there's still a lot we don't know there, but what we do know is that it's in the budget to get rid of this building. As we covered before, the building is like starting to fall apart. It's kind of like a Newfoundland Chernobyl. You have these big vats of fermented, 25-year-old fermented fish stinking up everything from inside these buildings. But as the building ages, walls are collapsing and there's a risk of this thing, getting worse. It's now in the budget to get Newfoundland's Chernobyl cleaned up, and I think that's a good news story.
Yeah, no, it's excellent for them. It's going to get worse before it gets better, though.
Oh, yeah, tearing this place apart?
Yeah.
Could you imagine doing that job? And again, like Chernobyl, you're going to have people like in the most intense suits going in there and stirring up stuff that hasn't been stirred up for a long time. It's going to be pretty gross.
Yeah, because I was reading a quote from an individual from the company who won the bid to be able to do this cleanup. Why you would bid to do this cleanup, I have no idea. I wouldn't consider it winning a contract. It'd be some kind of a punishment to have to go in and clean up this 25-year-old fish sauce. But this person from the company was saying that they're going to be using this kind of soil that they're going to be putting into it that like solidifies it. And it's going to make it easier to transport. But they said, they're going to be opening up these containers and mixing in this soil stuff. And they said, so for a little while, the smell is actually going to get worse. And then eventually they'll have it shipped out of there. They're going to take it to this landfill, however far away, and bury it.
1,000,000 miles under the ground. They're basically going to make Jell-O out of it. Like, I wonder what this soil is that's going to harden it. Is it going to be like a gelatinous thing, like gelatin put in there? Why could you not just put concrete in there?
I don't know.
Or cement.
But this is again something that the experts, I'm sure, have weighed all of the options and determined. I don't see it being more as a gelatin substance after they mix it in with this soil. But I feel that it would be more like a litter box when a cat uses the bathroom in a litter box when they pee in there. And then the pee kind of hardens and clumps up with the litter because it gets all dried out, you know?
I'll be honest, I don't know a lot about litter boxes. My sweet girl Penny, when she needs to do her business, we go out in the front lawn and I yell at her to hurry up as she sniffs the ground for worms or June bugs, which she loves to kill. And if none of them are around, she'll just chew grass until I get so mad that I'm about to drag her back in the house, and then she does her business, usually at the very end. She has this thing, she'll wait until I'm just about to freak out and send her back to the Bahamas. And then she does her business and I can go back to bed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Ken is very independent. He goes to the bathroom by himself whenever he feels like it. And then every day I scoop it out of his litter box for him.
That's very nice. Let's move on to another story. I don't want to hear about our pets using the bathroom anymore. This is a good...
Especially after talking about fish sauce for 10 minutes. We then quickly transition into talking about dog and cat feces.
Well, you know how the smell of the 25-year-old fish sauce would probably burn your eyes and screw up a lot of your senses? Well, that's been happening to people in Saskatoon for a while, not because of fish sauce, but because of bear spray. But we got some good news for the people of Saskatoon. Saskatoon police say bear spray incidents are actually down sharply compared to last year, and they believe a new city bylaw may be the reason. Here's the good news story related to Saskatoon bear spray attacks.
Ebb's Source for Adventure owner Allison Meinert says selling bear spray now comes with a few extra steps.
We've certainly had to take a bit more information down, personal information when you buy the bear spray, and a little bit more reporting.
Under a city bylaw that took effect last July, bear spray buyers must be at least 18 years old and provide 2 pieces of ID. While retailers cannot display the product publicly, they're also required to record the buyer's name, address, and date of birth and keep those records for 2 years.
There's more paperwork. I wouldn't say it's excessively onerous.
Saskatoon police say those changes have helped reduce bear spray incidents. Police recorded 137 bear spray incidents from January to May of this year, down from 242 incidents last year.
So any of those individuals who are purchasing it, and likely for its unintended use, have to realize that they have to produce the ID for it as well as the sale is being recorded.
Those records can also help hold sellers accountable. In February, a Saskatoon business was charged with unlawfully selling bear spray. While bear spray is sold at some convenience stores, Officer Doug McNeil says the sale of it is better suited to outdoor outfitters.
Ideally, it would be the outdoor outfitter, larger commercial retailers that are selling it. And again, if that was the case, would also limit the amount of product available on the streets.
Meinert says most of her customers buy bear spray for its intended purpose, but she supports measures to prevent it from getting into the wrong hands.
There was a lot that surprises me in that story. I could just go down a list of things that I didn't know about people in Saskatoon. Let's start with, did you know that you could buy bear spray in Saskatoon at a convenience store?
No, but it doesn't surprise me. It seems like something you could buy at a convenience store in areas that would be interested in bear spray.
I would assume it was like a specialty store. I thought you would have to go to like a hunting store or maybe like a kind of a Canadian Tire type place or maybe a Walmart. I didn't think they would just have it at a convenience store. Like I've never seen bear spray in my life. I've never seen it for sale anywhere I've ever been. Yet in Saskatoon, which isn't that big of a city, they have, they're considering it a bit of a win to only have like 150-ish bear spray attacks in the last 6 months.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we talked about a story one time where somebody was assaulted with bear spray outside of a bar.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so obviously this is something that is so common there because I assume 1 + 1 = bears. So if there's a lot of bears in the area, then you're going to see a lot of bear spray being sold in the area. And when
at convenience stores, though?
Well, when there's a lot of bears, bear spray is convenient. So what better store to sell it at than a convenience store?
there can't be so many bears that you're just on the way home from work. You grab some gas and you walk into the store and you're like, I got to get milk. I'm going to buy some gum. And I should grab some bear spray in case I get, approached by a bear tonight. It just seems like an odd spot.
It doesn't seem odd to me, actually. It seems like an area that would be ripe with bears. And where there are bear spray convenience stores. Because you need bear spray if there's a lot of bears around.
I guess. I figure bear spray be the kind of thing where you have like a cabin or a cottage or something that's in the woods, and once every couple years, maybe kind of like a fire extinguisher, like once every couple years you buy like a new thing of bear spray just in case you run into one. How often, we hear that there's 150 or 300 bear spray attacks at malls and bars and stuff in high schools probably around Saskatoon. I would like to, and they're clearly like, it's a surprise to me that they're actually tracking it. It's such a problem. But I wonder if they're also tracking incidents where people defended themselves against bears with bear spray. Like, is it, are hundreds of times a year people spraying bears with bear spray? They can't be. I think more humans are getting sprayed with bear spray than bears in Saskatoon.
Well, certainly hikers are carrying bear spray all the time. So if you're a hiker,
that's a good point.
You're going to have bear spray on you, especially if you're hiking in areas like this. If you're going on a longer hike, like a hike that gets maybe a little off-road, you're definitely carrying bear spray.
Yeah, and you know what? I never even thought of the hiker. I thought more of the bear coming to a house. And that's, again, this is the ignorance of me. I don't have a lot of bears here in Halifax. I've never seen bear spray for sale. I don't know anyone to have ever owned any bear spray. I never thought of the hiker, but you're the outdoorsman, so that's the perspective you bring to the table here.
Yeah, that's right. And I'm drinking Fruit 2O, which is a strawberry 0-calorie sparkling water.
Okay, you're hoping for like kind of some sponsorship. Like, yeah, I picture you walking through the woods, and you're like, every time I go on a super long walk in the woods,
every time I get completely mauled by a bear without having bear spray on me because there was no convenience store that sold it, I get very thirsty. So I reach for my Fruit 2O strawberry 0-calorie sparkling water.
And you have the stemless wine glass in the woods?
Yeah. Feel like you're at the Taj Mahal when you're in the middle of the woods.
I like it.
Fruit 2O. I had nothing further to say on the story, so I just thought I'd start talking about my drink again.
All right. Well, is it a good news story, though? Because that's what this is all about. We're doing good news stories. Is it good news that bear spray attacks are down?
Of course it is. It's wonderful news. That's like 125, 130 people, whatever the number is, that weren't sprayed in the face with bear spray in 2026 or 2025.
Saskatoon sounds like hell. We got the final good news story, and we're going to have to call on someone we haven't had around these parts for a while to do it. This is an article we got to read, and it's going to be an update of something we covered during our bicentennial episode 200. Who's going to read the article?
Sounds like you're hinting at the newsboy coming out. It's been a while.
Is it a little subtle, my hint?
Yeah, it's about as subtle as bear spray to the face.
Get the newsboy over here.
Okay. He's the newsboy is in a bag of seedless grapes that are in my fridge right now, so I'm going to go.
He's on the floor convulsing.
He's in the freezer underneath a cup and a plate. Freezing to death. Yeah, here he is. Extra, extra, read all about it. Frozen juice concentrate returns from the dead. During our bicentennial episode 200, we discussed the sudden death of frozen juice concentrate in Canada after Coca-Cola discontinued its Minute Maid line, leaving the country without the freezer aisle staple. But for frozen juice concentrate lovers, there has been a miracle. Loblaws says its no-name brand is bringing frozen concentrated drinks back to stores across Canada before the end of June with a full lineup of classic flavors: lemonade, limeade, grape punch, fruit punch, and berry punch. It may also be good news in Newfoundland, where frozen juice concentrate is a key ingredient in the popular holiday slush, a cocktail made with concentrate, sugar, and alcohol. So frozen juice concentrate is not dead after all. It was just waiting for its weirdly triumphant return in a bright yellow no-name can.
So there you have it. It seems like Minute Maid pulled out. They announced it was this big to-do that frozen juice concentrate was going away. I think Loblaws, which is the grocery chain that owns the No Name brand, I think they just saw a hole in the market and they said, you know what, we'll fill it.
I haven't purchased frozen concentrated juice in 30 years, so I don't care at all. No Name is okay. I mean, they saw that there's an opportunity to make some money and they're taking advantage of it, and that's good for them. That's great business, and I wish them all the best with their concentrated ideas.
I think it now could be a good time for frozen juice concentrate, because what a lot of people see it as is like a cheaper alternative to juice. Generally, like if you were looking at a shelf on the grocery store and they had 2 liters of orange juice, it's blank amount of dollars, but the little like can of frozen juice concentrate to make the 2 liters of orange juice is probably half that price. So given the price of food, the skyrocketing price of food and drinks like juice, this is probably a better alternative now than it's been for the last 15 or 20 years. So I think if marketed right, frozen juice concentrate could come back. I don't know if No Name is the company to bring it back, though, because they're not generally associated with high quality products. If people who don't know what No Name is, it's the in-house brand for Loblaws. They're well known for their very plain packaging. I can imagine this juice concentrate will be in a solid yellow container with a very generic font. It'll just say frozen juice concentrate, and then in a different font or a smaller font, it'll say grape, and that'll be about it.
Yeah, which I like that's the charm about it that I enjoy.
It's
but
true.
The thing about frozen juice concentrate and the marketing opportunity here that people seem to be missing is that it's great exercise. So when you pour in that concentrate, I remember stirring it and the workout that your forearms get.
Oh yeah, because you're stirring it, you're breaking up the ice.
You're breaking it up and you're stirring it and you're stirring it, you break it up. And I remember me and my arms being sore after making juice from frozen concentrate. And there's probably some kind of a workout regimen that you could do. Maybe
With
even
2
a
of them at
series
once.
of YouTube videos. That way you're marketing the juice and you're also getting exercise. So you have 2 juice containers out and you're going at it. And
wow, that's not a bad idea. Imagine the way they marketed it was like as a fake. They could come up with this like fake influencer, like this fitness influencer who was doing a series of videos, like personal trainer type videos, all based on mixing frozen juice concentrate. The way my dad used to make it, he didn't do the stirring it. Every so often I'd see him stirring it and breaking it up with a wooden spoon, but he usually would take the frozen juice concentrate, put it in the water, and then he had this kind of container, like a juice container, but it's sealed shut, and he would shake it almost like it was a paint can, and he'd shake it and shake it and shake it. And then at the end, it'd be this frothy mess of orange juice.
yeah, well, that's another exercise that could be added to the video. So everyone get your shaker containers out. We're going to do our shaker size today and instead of the stirring. Well, these are great. Are you writing any of this down?
I should. I don't have time to write it down. We've been going a while. This has been a great episode. I was at the front end here. I was saying, 218's not that interesting of a number. It's the area code for northern Minnesota. I think we started off slow, but now looking back at everything we've been through during episode 218, I'm proud of the work we've done here, and I'm proud of those guys in Fort McMurray who got those roads fixed. I'd love to drive those roads.
Yeah, you want to drive those roads?
Well, just to know the story behind it. He said in that clip, these roads should be paved in gold. I think those roads were paved in something better than gold.
What?
Community. Let's put a bow on this, Handsome Aaron Airport.
Yeah, okay.
Handsome Aaron Airport, until next time.
Jordan Bus Stop, backhoe, numbers, Community Bonaparte.
I want to thank Blair for giving us the kick in the arse. If it wasn't for Blair's voicemail, I don't think I would have tried this Pepsi Max Mango. I have the last sip now. Oh my God, that was so good. Thank you, Blair.
And Jordan, until next time, are you tired from paving your community's roads by yourself because the government won't send anyone to help you? And that road paving makes you thirsty? Reach for a Fruit 2O strawberry 0-calorie sparkling water. And that's the refreshment that you need to get you through your pothole paving days.
We did it.
And don't get attacked by a bear, because there are no convenience stores in Fort McMurray that sell bear spray.
I guarantee there are a ton of bear spray attacks in Fort McMurray. If you were ever going to get me to like name a spot in Canada where people are spraying bear spray at other people, I'd say, I don't know, something like Fort McMurray. I wouldn't have guessed Saskatoon. I want to thank you for helping Aaron and I fulfill our mission to keep Canada weird. Now, if any one of you listening want to get more involved in what we're doing, we need all the correspondence we can get. So if something weird happens in your area, or if you have any thoughts on anything we discussed tonight, let us know about it. The best way to reach us is by using the voice recorder that can be found at thecanadiangothic.com/contact. Now, I'm going to start wrapping up the episode, but before we part, let us thank a few people. First of all, Aaron and I want to give a big thank you to all the correspondents who contributed to this episode. If your voice message was aired on the show, go back to thecanadiangothic.com/contact and fill out the form to claim your swag pack and Keep Canada Weird badge. We'll happily get it right out to you. Next, a big shout out to Unicole for the intro and outro voiceovers, and Monty Data, who provides the outro version of O Canada that you're about to hear. And then lastly, but most importantly, we have a massive thank you to every one of you listening, as without your interest and your support, this work would be impossible. And for any one of you out there who want to support the show financially and get more out of the show at the same time, please consider the premium feed. Our premium feed subscription costs just a couple bucks a month, and that money will fund the creation of new episodes. But the premium feed will also give you those episodes early, give them to you ad-free, and give you access to a full back catalog of Keep Canada Weird episodes and bonuses. You can go premium at thecanadiangothic.com/subscribe. And even if the premium feed isn't for you, you can still support the show by simply sharing episodes on social media. That's free, and it's a big help. So until next time, take care of each other, hug your loved ones tight, and please keep Canada weird.
And keep Canada weird. Please keep Canada weird.
And now to our viewers and listeners everywhere. Good night.
Just got to let you know, I love the show and I love animals, all animals. In fact, I am a veterinarian. And I got to tell you, I'm on Team Aaron when it comes to cats versus dogs. Being a vet, of course, I love both, but cats are definitely the superior species, especially when it comes to hunting, Jordan. I'm sorry to tell you, but yes, dogs are good hunters when they go out with their hunting owner, and they might be able to help point out a bird that they can take down or whatever, but cats are going out doing it on their own. They go out and they kill something and bring it home. They don't need a human to go with them to do that. They just do it. So yeah, they're definitely the better hunters. On the other hand, I also want to let you know that any scented products can be harmful to both cats and dogs in terms of causing allergies, not just cinnamon oil diffusers, but any kind of scented products can cause allergies, and in cats especially can cause asthma. So yeah, just wanted to give you that unsolicited bit of advice. And that's all. Oh, yeah, the butter story. I got to tell you, with the cost of butter, what a freaking waste of money and a waste of butter. I bake a lot, and right now butter's about $8 a pound unless you can get it on sale. So we're talking about $8,000 and a statue that's going to just like melt and be disgusting and stink. And so if you're going to have a big, disgusting, stinky statue, why not just make it out of compost